I could base one off Cass. What's a song about sexual awakening?
There's not many of those.
I'm really glad we have that bit recorded.
Hello and welcome to Saving People, Queering Things, the supernatural podcast where we totally believe the bones. Today we are pulling up to season 6, episode 10, Caged Heat. I'm your host Noah, he, him.
And I'm Elayna, she, they.
And the question of the day I have for my co-hosts is...
Yeah, I was about to be like, I don't know what this has to do with the episode, but I'm thrilled to talk about it.
Did you think the Ark of the Covenant excuse was pretty good, or was it like one of their weaker ploys that they pulled on Cass?
I thought it was kind of good. I was a little mad. It was strategic.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite part, though, was the way that Sam played coy. Like, he just does, like, what I love about the Winchesters is when they decide they're going to be a little theatrical just for some pizzazz. And he's just like, yeah, you know, it's just this thing and it's shaped like this. And like, you can tell he's acting.
Oh, yeah.
To try and be convincing. And he's so bad at it that it's like, it comes right back around to being brilliant.
Yeah.
And so it's really funny.
Because it works for Cass on so many levels because he can't read a lot of that and he just comes up anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't read the sarcasm and like, he really legit thinks, okay, they have this magical item that needs to be. But see, here's the fun part. That means that the Ark of the Covenant definitely exists in this universe.
For sure.
Because he comes fucking running.
Yeah, he said, oh my God, you have it? I haven't heard about it in millennia or whatever.
It's like, oh my God, you have that limited edition holographic Ark of the Covenant? Like, I want one.
Gotta get me one.
Really good. But yeah, I think it's one of their better ploys. Well done.
Good. Fair. Well, now that you've met your hosts for today, it's time to catch you up. If you haven't watched Supernatural recently, here's what you've missed on the road so far. First up, Elayna is going to recap the show up to this point. Are you ready?
Absolutely not.
Perfect. That's our ideal spot we want to be in. I'll count you in.
I don't know. I've literally planned 0 of this. It's going to be great today.
Good.
Okay, let's do a chaos recap in
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so the first season, Sam and Dean Winchester are dealing with like a lot of daddy issues and also monsters. And then like season 2, the dad is like gone. And so they're like, oh no, our daddy issues. What do we do? Now we're going to take it out on each other. Then season 3, they go through this whole thing where like Dean almost dies and then he does die and then he gets brought back. And then there's like a gay angel that shows up and he really meddles with things. And there's a lot of other family trauma. And then when we get to the apocalypse, that's a mess. And then we get to season 6 and their family's back to life and also alpha monsters.
What? Oh my God, that was beautiful.
I'm actually a little proud of that one.
You nailed it. You got the big swings from every season. That was great.
I mentioned the gay angel. That's all that counts.
That's the one that really matters. Yeah.
So now Noah is going to recap this week's episode. My friend, are you ready?
Oh, totally ready.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Sam and Dean are captured by Meg, and then they all team up to take on Crowley because the brothers are sick of bringing him alpha monsters. Samuel tries to guilt them about their mother's death, ends up betraying them to get Mary back. Sam uses his own blood to get out of the demon jail, and then they get the upper hand on Crowley, and Castiel burns his bones. Sam officially gives up on fighting for his soul. Dramatic.
My cat made the saddest little noise the second you finished. She was like, meow. It was like, Dean.
Oh, she said, really? He gave up? Oh, no.
Not Sam giving up. Dean, I love it when you contribute to the episodes.
She's
that
like carrying this team.
What a good recap.
I try.
So succinct.
The more I write, the faster I have to speak. And then the more annoying that is for Noah to edit later on. But
oh, yeah.
Is being thrown up?
Huh?
It sounded like a what cat?
Yeah, no, that was a speaker on a car driving by, thudding the walls of my home.
Okay, nice.
Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, then.
Speaking of music.
Speaking of music, that's a fantastic segue into us picking some music to accompany us on our journey today. Here's what we have for the mixtape this week. Elayna, would you like to go first?
I would. So, completely candid listeners, this week I was ill prepared and was like, oh no, oh crap, I need a song. And so I was like, let me go to my day list, which is the thing I've been utilizing on Spotify way more. And fun fact, currently it's called Modern Rock Alternative Thursday Night, which is a good time.
Exposing us for recording on a Thursday.
Yeah, exposing us. Expose him. But I opened this playlist and the second song on it, mind you, I've never heard this song. I don't know what it's about. I don't know this artist really, like I've heard of them, but I've never listened to them. But the title immediately jumped out as this is exactly what's going through Dean Winchester's mind when he sees Cas kissing Meg. And that song is Could Have Been Me by the Struts.
So
So that's my pick for today. I'm excited I bookmarked it so I can listen to it.
No, it works.
Because I think Dean was having a whole little crisis right there. My favorite is like those videos on YouTube where they do like compilations, but they'll like zoom in on his face and like put like the Wii, music. Like, and it's just he's like, what's happening?
Error does not compute.
I already had to be around Cas having a boner, and now he's making out with a demon that I would like to be myself.
He's not subtle about it either at all. It's a great pick, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, what's yours?
I went with Inertia by AJR.
One of their
I love AJR songs from their newer album. It's fantastic. It talks about I've been in these same skinny jeans since I was 15.
Ooh.
I'm stuck in this life and I'm stuck in these pants. But most importantly, I'm an object in motion. I've lost all emotion. My 2 legs are broken, but look at me dance. Dean has to fight against getting his mother back in this episode, followed by his brother giving up on him, preceded by his true love making out with a demon in front of him. It's just heartbreak after heartbreak this episode for him. Like, oof, but he's still fighting for everything.
I don't think I realized how profoundly that, like you just made me have a new appreciation for an episode that I've seen dozens of times with that sentiment. Like
crushing.
He really does go through all of that in one fucking 40-minute period.
But if you look at him, he looks fine. He looks the most fine of everybody in that episode because Meg runs away, Sam walks away scared, Castiel expresses his concerns but then leaves to go fight a war, and Dean is right where he wants to be, quote unquote, but he's the one that is holding everybody together because he's so broken. Like, it sucks.
And like, can we talk about his threat to Samuel?
Oh my God.
Like, come on. Like that, immediately after that scene, I thought of that moment from SNL where I think it's like Bill Hader and he goes, well, mark me down as scared and horny. Like, I feel like that's what people think in that moment because he's just like, I'm going to be the one that kills you. And you're like, oh, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
No, but it does.
But like, it's so threatening and it's kind of scary. And like, you get reminded of, like, I think on this show, especially, we try to talk about the softer sides of Dean and, the things about him that are not the stereotypical hunter that everybody thinks he is and that he's worried he's becoming. But every so often we get that, like, I am a savage and I will fucking come for you moment from Dean. And this is one of, I think, having seen the whole show, this moment is one of my favorite, like, Dean threatens someone scenes. It's very good. So to have that happen in conjunction with what you're describing in the song, that's like a really good pick.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
What's our theme this week?
What's our theme this week? Today we're pulling up to season 6, episode 10, Caged Heat, and our theme is Bravery. Wow, look at that. Dean Winchester coming through as the prime example, some might say the paragon of bravery.
Oh my gosh.
He's just...
I saw what you did there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen to Queer People Saving Throws, now available wherever you listen to it.
Wherever you listen to it. Episode 9.
Have fun. Oh yeah, that's right. August is editing. Hi, August.
Hi. Thank you. You're so
We miss you. We hope you're having fun with Captain Kirk.
How awkward would it be if the foster to adopt situation doesn't work out and they don't keep...
If that happens, August, I'm so sorry. And Bean will give you an extra snuggle whenever you guys actually meet. I promise.
But if it doesn't happen, then I'm sorry that I thought of it right now and made you think of that awkward reality that's out there.
And we hope that you will boop your cat on the nose.
Anyway.
Hello, this is August with a little editing note. Kirk, the cat, is indeed adopted now, and very, very happily sitting next to me while I edit this episode, so there you go.
All that to say,
that was a great segue.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Prime content here
for everybody. Everybody will love that. Nope, not just these 3 people. Okay, this was a kind of fun episode with some pretty distinct low points, actually.
Say more about that, Noah, because this is your first viewing of this one.
there was a lot of talk with Crowley or about Crowley with the Sam and Dean. I don't remember who it was, but with the whole conversation about, hey, remember when we used to gank demons and now we like
Yeah.
work for them? And that whole conversation was just poorly handled. I hated that. But
Yeah.
it was cool to see Crowley kicking a shifter's ass dressed as himself. Like that was an interesting
That was
start.
a little like when I came to that scene, I actually forgot for a moment like what was happening. And as I was watching it, I was like, wait, why the heck are there two of him? And I'm like, oh duh, like it's a shifter.
Oh.
But there's this fun moment before you realize what's going on where you're not sure which one is the real Crowley.
Yeah,
I don't know
because
if that
it
happened
could
for you,
believably
but
be either.
yeah, because they're both just, as Meg puts it so eloquently, smarmy dick.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the best way you can
I
describe.
was very excited to see Meg back because
Yes.
Jamie's going to be really happy about that. And,
Oh yeah.
Anytime that Meg's on screen, it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, this is a good episode for her.
I liked her, kinky doing the little reference right at the beginning. I love.
Oh, she's always Meg is like the number one, like I'm gonna make everything slutty demon, and she has been from the jump. And it's like I appreciate that about her.
Close
Even
second
if
is
it's
Crowley.
not my bag,
Yeah.
But I do think on the note of it being like bravery being our topic,
Yes.
I think another shining example of bravery in the episode is definitely Meg's moment of like, I'm going to take on the Hellhounds and I don't know if this weapon is even going to work, but I'm going to buy you time because we are trying to accomplish something for the greater good. And that's just kind of cool in that moment of bravery and teaming up with her.
I mean, it is kind of undershadowed as a moment of bravery because she does try to run away first. And then once she realizes she's trapped, then she does it. Okay. But it is still brave. And I do still appreciate her for it.
And I mean, she had the bravery to kiss Castiel in front of Dean Winchester.
Yeah.
Talk about bravery.
Yeah, that's true. Especially because he still is mad at her for Ellen and Joe, just like me.
Oh, yeah.
Can't blame him for that.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P. Pour one out for Ellen and Joe. Yeah.
But she still stood up to the Hellhounds when it counted. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to get them much because, yeah, sure, they got to Crowley in the end, but they burn his bones. And we're supposed to believe that he's never coming back? Question mark? What? No.
As I often say to you on this show, I can neither confirm or deny that information.
I know that he hasn't even mentioned the moon yet, so he's still good. Like I'm confident that it's gonna be an episode or two. I'm hoping. I'm betting we get him back.
What's your theory for how he survives, if you have one?
Fake bones or not God. That'd be interesting though. If Chuck brought him back, that'd be cool. I'm worried that it'll be time travel or alternate realities.
Oh, okay.
That feels a little aggressive, but I'd be there for it.
Who knows? What do you think, Bean? You're very talkative this episode.
Bean thinks he's gone.
I knocked my notes over, you little rascal.
Uh-oh.
So speaking of Dean being, a big brave boy this episode, but I really love the moment where Dean is like yelling at Samuel because he's like Samuel's calling him like a hypocrite because you don't, you want to bring your brother back, but you won't let me bring my daughter back. I love that Dean had like the awareness, the bandwidth, the wherewithal to say to him, like, I'm telling you to learn from our mistakes. Like the Winchesters don't often acknowledge their self-sabotage tendencies. And so for him to call that out in his grandfather, who I know isn't a Winchester, he's a Campbell, which I guess that's a Campbell trait.
Yeah.
In a way, I think it's really cool for him to just be like, learn from our mistakes. Like, please don't. It's not going to end well for anybody. You're going to get that gratification of her being there, and then she's going to like eat your face or something. Who knows?
Or what are you going to tell her? You made a deal with the demon and you wouldn't help her sons? Like, come on.
I'm so glad you mentioned that line.
She's going to care more about us and making sure we're okay than the fact that she's back and fine. Like, trust us. We've been here. We've done this before. We've talked to Mary with the option to try to save her, and she told us no. Like, please stop.
But it is kind of heart-wrenching though that not to be like, Lucifer's advocate or whatever here, but it is kind of heart-wrenching when Samuel says like the difference is like how to live without her, I don't. And that part really did cut me pretty deep because I'm like,
that is true.
It's one of those like when people would watch Black Panther and were like Killmonger was right, like in that moment you're like, yeah, that is really brutal and it sucks.
It's a good motivation.
It doesn't justify what you're doing.
Cool motive, still murder.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, that's exactly it. Cool motive, still murder is very much Samuel Winchester.
Yeah. But like also he does know how to live without her. Like he made it a year, right? Like
Yeah.
that's I mean, he's saying it like Sam and Dean had a choice. And they didn't. They were very
Yeah.
much
They were
children at the
babies.
time it happened. And like, okay, I don't know. It feels like a weird thing to throw in their face. Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
is hard, but like you've also have done it this past year. And
Yeah, you've made it this far. Like you can continue to go on. Like it's what she would want you to do.
and if you actually knew her, you'd know that. But then it
Like
seems like
the
he
only version that
realizes
he
that.
knows of her is like, up to like what, 18 or 20 something year old her.
Yeah, because then
Like
he gets knocked
yeah,
out of the way.
like before she even has kids, and like she's a different person after that happens because she's gonna put them first because she's married.
Yep.
And she loves her kids.
Yep, it's how they get you every time in this family. In the words of Castiel, it is so complex.
I'm so glad you were
If the
leading us
pizza man
there.
truly loves this babysitter, why does he keep smacking her rear?
Noah, we're not supposed to talk about it.
That was such a good combination of events. It was fucking beautiful.
The way that the two of them look up when they realize what's on the screen.
Wait, are you watching porn? And he's like, or no, he doesn't respond. He just looks down all ashamed.
Down.
They're like, why? It was there. What? How?
Yeah. Like, no, that's not how TVs work, Cass. Like, honey. But then his pizza man move.
His pizza man move, he clearly learned a lot. So he was paying attention.
Noah, all I can say, and I'm really, this is one of those moments where I'm a little sad that August is not here, that the two of us can like have one of those like, oh my God, we wish we could tell Noah about this. Remember the pizza man is all I would say.
Don't think I'll have issues with that.
Yeah, just remember that moment because it will be called back to eventually in the most
like 3 seasons from now. 4
I
years.
can't confirm or when. But remember the pizza man.
But we're not supposed to talk about it.
We're not supposed to talk about it. When he walks in, he's like, "This is what you guys do? Watch porn with angels?" Like, oh my God, like what
That's
a line.
such a phrase. Just
Yeah,
sitting
like
around watching porno with
that's a
angels.
sentence in the English language that has been manifested and existed and heard by thousands and millions of people.
Oh, I loved it. It was so good.
And the Clarence reference again came back, which I finally understand now because I did watch It's a Wonderful Life last year for the first time.
Good. I mean, it's an okay
lied
movie.
to me about that movie.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, it's such a great little heartwarming Christmas movie."
And I was like, "Where? This is a study in depression."
Yeah, it is.
This needs a trigger warning. It was a great, beautiful film though.
It's classic.
But yeah, I love that Clarence is his nickname.
No, I do
We're
like
not
that
supposed to talk about it, Keeps coming back. It's a great thing to get to say repeatedly on a podcast when literally the whole point of the podcast is to talk about it.
No, I really love.
We're getting very meta.
What did Crowley call Sam? The mop-headed lumberjack?
Yes, that one ranked very high on his list of quality insults to the Winchesters.
Beautiful,
like anytime you throw lumberjack in there, it's gonna be good.
It just hits.
Mop-headed?
Oof.
Beautiful. 10 out of 10.
Like you're a little early.
Spelling bee.
Give him time. It'll get worse. And then better. And then worse. I don't know. We'll see. And okay, wait. Speaking of meta things, like a second ago, Crowley, whenever he sees Meg, doesn't he say like, "Oh, I haven't seen you all season"? Or no, Cass. It's Cass. Haven't seen you all season. Are you the cavalry now? Like, damn. Are you watching the same show we are? I literally had that
written on the other side of this envelope in huge letters. I forgot it was back there. Yeah, seen you all season.
It's so good.
Like Supernatural is so good when it does that. When it has those tiny little moments of they just take like a little tiny chisel to the fourth wall and just go.
It's so good. Great. Because they've already established that Crowley came from like the time period when like the season was like the time, like just a casual reference to the time of year or like the past few months or whatever. Like nobody speaks like that now, but we feel it in a completely different way. And they meant it in both and it's top notch. I did like
this isn't really Crowley. Like this isn't a spoiler, but it's because I'm not going to give you any of the context of where or when it's said or who says it. But there is a point where somebody asks someone else a question and their response, it's so good. They're just like, what show have you been watching? I'm just like, I love that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And Supernatural is so good at doing that. That's one of the few things where it's like every time.
Just a little sprinkle of meta. Just a little sprinkle.
It's like, I hate fan service unless I'm the fan who's being served.
It's
how
true,
it works.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, I really did want to talk about, this might be my last like major bit. I loved when fucking Cas said, I'd rather be here.
Yeah, at the end. And then Dean hits him back with the, we got you as friends. Like, what? Sir,
Don't you friend zone that angel.
come on.
Don't you do it.
Sam
Dean
does such a look, though. He's like, tilts his head. Like,
He's like, you?
okay,
Is that, what would we call that friendship?
sir.
And
please."
actually, I will say that scene, the pizza man scene,
Mhm.
is one of my biggest pieces of evidence in my case for like Dean is in love with Cas and like Sam like loves him like a friend and a brother the way that he loves Dean, like is because of the way they react. Like Sam just kind of stands there and is like, okay. And like I know he's soulless right now, but even
Yeah.
still, I feel like Sam Winchester would normally just be like, what, guys, is this the time? He would be bored. But Dean is having like a whole fit and like looking and gesturing and like just fucking losing his mind because his boyfriend is kissing someone and he's really turned on and doesn't know what to do. And
Yeah.
like it's just so funny to me to watch how flustered he gets and then to
Error
watch people try
404.
to say he doesn't have extracurricular feelings for that angel.
Seriously, it's like, come on. Are we watching the same show? I don't think so. Are you
What show have you
actually
been watching?
looking at the screen? Please.
Yeah. Are you experiencing this media with your perception? What is your perception roll? Because I think it was a 2.
Pretty sure your passive perception is just like at a 4, like on the daily. Like, come on.
Listen to me making D&D references.
Okay, no, whenever I first started playing Baldur's Gate, like a lot more, and you know, because I've played D&D plenty of times, but haven't been playing it as regularly. And Baldur's Gate 3 gets a really good job of getting it really subtle into your subconscious, and so it just starts popping up on your daily constantly. And so I would make those jokes a lot. My roommate got really not annoyed, but they'd be like tired of it. And then I got a second controller and got them playing split screen, and we've been going real hard. And now they're making the jokes, and I'm like, ha ha ha, thank you. You see, it's
You
all
feel
funny.
big. Oh,
good.
I have to make a slightly sad reference. This is going to date this episode.
Oh no.
But I was about to make a reference to Brooklyn Nine-Nine and go vacation. But Andre, bless him.
Bone. R.I.P. Andre
So
Braun.
glad that's in this episode. Yeah, R.I.P. for him because he's actually. You know what? Do you have any other major topics?
No. A cab, but I trust Raymond Holt.
Yeah, Raymond Holt gets prioritization at all times. But I think that gives us a perfect opportunity to segue into blessings and who we'd like to bless this week, other than Andre.
The aforementioned, yes, obviously.
Baby. Who do you want blessed this week, Noah?
I'm going to bless Castiel because of that last conversation he has with Dean at the car and Dean friend zoning him and Cas being like, hey, I am struggling. I would rather be here hanging out with you, but do you want me to? And then Dean says, as friends, sir. Hurts. It hurts.
It does.
Give him time. Blessings to Cas.
I'm going to bless Sam this week, mostly for the moment towards the end when he overhears Cas saying, like, this is going to rip him apart, tear him to shreds, might fry his brain in new ways that brains have never been fried in history. And he has to just stand there and take that in and, like, now wrestle with the fact that, like, he needs his soul, but is it going to destroy him? Like, is it worth the risk?
Yeah.
And I feel like that probably is weighing very heavily on his sweet conscience, and that makes me want to give him a hug. So blessings to Sam.
Blessings. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks so much for coming on today, Elayna. This was a blast.
I
as
love duo
always.
episodes. They're always
so much
quirky.
Fun. Yeah, you really get a lot of nervous, excited energy bouncing back and forth. It's really, it works.
It's a good time. So make sure that you are subscribed to Saving People Queering Things wherever you listen to your podcast and share our show with your friends. You can also join our free Discord server where we have a really good time and share lots of cat pictures.
Oh my God,
Go
so
find
many.
us on on our socials.
I love it.
And catch up on the last season mixtapes at our website, queeringthingspodcast.com.
Also out now, the aforementioned Queering People Saving Throws, our main crew, along with KJ of Supernatural Opinions, taking a dive into a queer D&D adventure, releasing every other Friday right here on our feed.
Be sure to ride along with us next week as we explore Season 6, Episode 11, Appointment in Samara, through the theme of eternity. I love that episode. I'm so excited for that one.
Ooh. Thank you all for coming along for the ride, and we wish you a peaceful road until we meet again.
Wow.